Okay, hello everybody, welcome back. Here we are again with another knife up close. And this is a relatively new knife, not just for me, but a relatively new release. It's going to be the Böker Magnum Brasa. And I've had this for a couple of weeks now. And I figured now would be a good time to take a close-up look at it because there's not too many videos out there about this knife. I've only seen 3 actually, so I figured now would be a good time to make my video and show you this knife up close. So here it is. Böker, great brand. They make a lot of knives at different levels, different scales of quality, I guess you could say. So they have the Solingen range made in Germany. I believe there's some USA-made Bökers. There's the Arbolito range, and then there's the Plus range and the Magnum range. And Böker Plus and Böker Magnum are the more affordable ones out there. And this one, actually especially impressive in that regard, coming in at around about €35 on Böker's own website. So the story behind this is I actually wasn't even in the market for a knife at the time. Well, of course I was. I always am. But I was looking for a sharpening stone. And then I stumbled across this one on the website, and I just thought, wow, that's a really nice design. A really slick-looking pocket fixed blade right up my street. And so I went ahead and bought it. And yeah, I've been using it for the past couple of weeks. It's been really good. It's been versatile. I like it a lot. So I'll go through the specs, and then I'll talk about what I like about it. And then maybe some disadvantages potentially with the knife. But yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, it's called the Brasa, which according to the website means fire in Swedish. I'm not sure how that connects to the knife. As you can see, it doesn't have a 90-degree spine or anything, so you're not going to be throwing sparks off of it. I think it's probably just a cool name for the knife, and that might be about it. This knife was designed by Thomas Ward. And as far as I could tell, it's not based on any other custom design or anything like that. It's not based on a more high-end version of the knife or anything. I'm guessing Thomas Ward just designed this directly for Böker, and they released it in there as part of their Magnum range. We have 440C steel for the blade, and a subtle drop point, as you can see there. We have a stone-washed finish for the blade as well. We have G10 scales, just directly mounted. We have a little lanyard hole there, for anybody interested in that. I don't tend to use lanyard holes, so I could do without that on the knife, but it doesn't really make any difference. But it's there if you want it. And so that's kind of it for the spec. It's not a super complicated knife. That's what I like about it. I like simplicity and sort of cleanness in terms of design and spec on a knife. 7.2 centimeter blade. My one weighs in at 60 grams, so pretty light. The thing that attracted me to this was the design. That's always the thing that kind of strikes me about a knife, before the specs, like the blade steel or whatever, is just, does this thing look ergonomic, comfortable, practical? The last knife video that I made was about a Brisa, not to be mistaken with this, which is called the Brasa. That was the Brisa NECA 70, which is a bit of a thicker knife and has a Scandi grind. And so I guess I was kind of in the market for something a bit more thin and slicey. And as you can see, this is a very, very thin knife. Have a look at that. That is one advantage going for the knife. Also potentially a disadvantage, depending on how you look at it, depending on what your needs are. So I would say it's comfortable in the hands, definitely. But because it has this thin handle, it probably isn't going to be kind of a real hard worker for a long period of time. So if you're working with the knife all day, you might want a knife with a bit of a bulkier handle for more comfort. Not that this is an uncomfortable handle. It's just more that I think the thinness could be a disadvantage in that regard for, hard work over a long period of time. But it is, I would say, designed for hard work, hard use, because 440C steel, I should say, is pretty damn tough in my experience. You know, this blade is not bending, and it's just tough. It came slicey as hell right out of the box, which is very, very cool. I haven't had to sharpen it yet. I will do, but yeah, it just hasn't been necessary yet. It came really, really sharp, which is great to see. Other design features that are cool are we have 2 jimping spots. We have one up here for the thumb, which is kind of the classic place, very useful. And then we also have this jimping here near the tip, which is going to be for your index finger if you want to get up top like that. Kind of like pinch the knife a little bit, do these kinds of cuts, drag cuts, draw cuts, whatever you would call them. Ironically, though, I found when I was using the knife at home for some culinary activities, slicing up fruits and vegetables and stuff, that I would put my finger right here, which is exactly in between the 2 jimping spots. But for me, that was the more comfortable slicing position, ironically enough. But at any rate, I think it's really cool that there's jimping in those 2 spaces. The guard here is pretty cool. This reminds me a lot, actually, of a flipper tab. So on a flipper knife where, you know, the tab would be here, you'd flip it, and then it ends up, well, here. And that's what it looks like. And so I'm going to go off a guess that was a deliberate design feature or inspiration. I don't know for sure, but that's just what that reminds me of. In terms of the handle itself, love the design of this. It's black G10, very grippy because of this vertical pattern that you can see. Very, very nice. And one thing I always think about, or one thing I'm always conscious of when buying a more affordable knife, or even expensive knives for that matter, is just how well the scales fit the tang, how flush they are. And I think a little bit of give is acceptable. What we have here is on the back, I think, pretty flush. It does, the tang does stick out a little bit. The way you can tell is if you put the knife down, it will lean to one side like that, or to the other side, or just fall over. Yeah, there you go. So it can lean to one side or the other. And then the further you go around the knife, down here on the underside, I don't know if it's going to show too well on camera, but the tang definitely does sit a little bit proud of the G10. I don't think that this is a design flaw, and I also don't think it affects the performance of the knife. But just something worth mentioning. It's something I always think about and I'm always conscious of. At least it's very uniform, and I'd say that's more important. In the case of this knife, it's really, really tight. And I'm glad to see that. I don't know if it's quite watertight, but yeah, we shall see, because I've washed the knife. It looks like it's going to take a Torx 8 perhaps to unscrew. Not sure on that yet, but eventually I'll unscrew these and give the tang a clean, and we'll see if it's stained by the washing that I've given it. So yes, beautiful design, I think. Very thin, which is nice. It comes with a Kydex sheath, which has excellent retention. No rattle whatsoever. You could probably wear this as a neck knife quite comfortably, I think, because it's not too heavy. Lots of lashing points, if that's your thing. We've got a drainage hole there, which is a cool detail too. It does come with a little belt clip that you could attach. I don't bother with that. I just throw the thing straight into my pocket because, well, look at how thin this thing is. But overall, wicked design, especially when you consider €35. I mean, if you get this knife and you're not happy with it, well, it's not exactly breaking the bank. So I think you're getting a super deal with this. Böker Magnum Brasa 440C steel. Looks like a full flat grind. There is a subtle bevel up here, but yeah, it's a full flat. Stone washed G10. Yeah, nice and thin, nice and light, very slicey, and I think an excellent deal. So, thank you for checking it out, and I hope you get a chance to check the knife out as well, and hope to see you next time. All right, cheers, everybody.